So here we have the Jaguar XF Sportbrake R Sport on a 64 plate. I'm going to show you around the outside of the car first of all, and then we'll hop in and run through a few controls on the inside. But as you'll see from the outside, it's a 5-door estate car with alloy wheels and tinted windows around the rear. Let's start off inside the boot and then we can work our way around the rest of the car from there. Okay, so the tailgate on this car is actually electronic. So with the key, just push the button here that represents the tailgate and it will open up for you, as you can see. Now as we approach the back of the car, you may well notice we've got reversing sensors. This car's also got a reversing camera, which I'll show you when we're inside the car. 60-40 split folding rear seat and loads of boot space, along with this vinyl Jaguar cargo liner as well. So really easy way of keeping the boot area clean and tidy on this car. Okay, so we're just going to continue our way back round to the front of the car now. And then I'll hop in and run through a few controls on the inside. But as you'll see from the outside, now that we've done a full circle of the car, it's in great condition the whole way around and a really lovely looking car. Just briefly before I climb in, I think it's well worth seeing the interior from this exterior point of view. As you can see, you get half leather seats. There's plenty to run through on the dashboard of this car, so let's hop in and we'll do that now. Just briefly before I run through controls, I just wanted to show you the startup procedure for this car. So it's a keyless start. The key simply needs to be somewhere in the car, so in your pocket or bag. When we press the start button in a moment, you'll see that the lever or dial to select what gear the car should be in will raise out from the center console area, and these air vents will rotate round to reveal the air vent slats beneath. So foot on the brake, push that button to start the car, and you'll see that happening. We'll now run through some controls on the car for you. Okay, so we're going to start with the dials. On the left hand side we've got the speedometer, the right hand side the rev counter, and then in the middle it will show you what gear we're in, so we're in park at the moment. And beneath that there's the total miles for this car, which are 42,830. Pushing the button on the end of the indicator stalk will change the information that's displayed there. As you can see, you get various different bits of fuel economy information, as well as a digital readout for the speedometer as well. Backing out to the steering wheel, we've got stereo controls on the left hand side, as well as voice activation for the phone. So hit that button, ask it to dial anyone in your contacts list and it will do that for you. And then we have cruise control over this side. Just behind the steering wheel you'll see there's a minus pedal on this side, a plus on the other. That is so that you can change gears manually in this car should you wish to. Over in the center console here is where we would set up the phone, amongst other things. So you can see at the bottom here we have the button for phone, satellite navigation, and then main menu. They're the only buttons for the stereo or for the screen that aren't on the screen itself. Everything else is touchscreen. So at the moment we've got satellite navigation, which you can hit just there, and that'll open up the satellite navigation menu. You can then go back a page where you can go into audio and video and turn the audio on. The volume is then adjustable down here to turn that back off again. You can see this car's got AM and FM radio, as well as DAB digital radio. You can also listen to music via the USB or auxiliary connections, and you can stream music wirelessly via Bluetooth audio. So loads of ways to listen to music. When we were at the back of the car, I mentioned it had a reversing camera. If I pop the car into reverse, you can now see that for yourself. So not only do you have the reversing camera, but you have the guidelines shown on the ground so that you know exactly which direction the car is headed in relation to the image that you see on the screen in front of you. I'll pop the car back in park. Beneath that, as I say, we've got the buttons here partially for the stereo system. We've got deadlocks, and we can turn off the car's stop and starts. This car's designed to cut out when it's stationary in traffic. You can turn that system off just there should you wish to. Otherwise it will be on every time you start the car. Beneath that we have the CD player, the volume for the stereo and where we can skip tracks, and then we've got the dual zone climate control. So you can adjust the temperature independently on either side of the car, so down in temperature, and it will show you on the screen what temperature you are selecting. Fan speed is done by adjusting this dial in the middle, up and down, and it's as simple as that. You can hit auto and the car will maintain the temperatures you've asked for by itself, so it'll adjust the fan speed accordingly. You can then override that by adjusting the fan speed manually should you wish to. Beneath that we've got a heated front screen and heated rear screen, or you can press that button and that will divert the car's air conditioning directly to the windscreen for you. The gears we've already kind of been through, but it's a dial, so foot on the brake and every twist of this dial will select a different gear all the way back round to park. Inside here we've got a cigarette lighter or 12-volt charging socket, depending on which way you'd like to use it. Inside this one we have two cup holders. We then have an electronic handbrake just here. We can change the setup of the gearbox to put it into ice mode, so on a snowy or icy day you can change the setup that way. And you can turn off traction control on this car as well should you wish to. And then all the way back in the central armrest, we've got a 12 volt charging socket, so a second one, the USB input and the auxiliary input I mentioned a moment ago. With regards to the interior, I'd just like to finish with this. So I'm sat in the back seat of the car currently. This car has rear DVD player. So if I push this button, it will open the screen, which is a lovely big clear display. As you can see, in relation to the headrest, it gives you an idea of the size of the screen. It comes with 2 sets of wireless headphones and the remote controls that it should have as well. So if you have kids and you go on long journeys, this will be a great way of keeping them occupied in the rear of the car. All that leaves me to say is thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you'd like to come and see the car in person and have a test drive, please feel free to call any of our MJA sites. We'd love to hear from you soon.